Hi, I'm Kathy and welcome to a bit of crafting with Kathy. We're doing another one of our Winter Wonderland scenes, which is blending some inks on matte cardstock, adding a few water splatters, things like that to create some different effects, and doing some colouring and general ink blending. So we're going to be using our Trio stamp today. So we'll use our Trio. Our background ones with him will be some Hilly Horizon, some Winter Branch and some Flower Border. And then I'm just going to pick out some accents out of the Brush Dreams word set to just finish it off. Our inks that we're using, mainly Catherine Pooler, one out of the Spa collection, the Juniper Mist, out of the Carnival collections, of the bright coloured inks, we've got All That Jazz and Suede Shoes. These ones are out of the Life of the Party collection, Something Borrowed and Aquatini. And out of the Spring Fling collection, we've got a bit of It's a Boy. And then I'm going to team it with some Versafine Black for a bit more dramatic stamping where we need it. And a bit of colouring we'll do with some of the Uniqolour brush markers. And in this, I've picked out just some of the browns and greys to use to actually colour in the owls themselves. Okay, so I've got an acetate mask that I'm just going to pop up there to add a little bit of a moon. Yeah, I was going to say add a bit of moonlight, but no, what I meant to say was moon. And now we're going to stamp on our owls. So I'll just use the Versafine for this. Just tap over the whole stamp. And I'm going to place them fairly high on the card so that I've got room for doing some snowy hills in below them. Push down nice and evenly, get a nice good impression. Oh, they're so cute, aren't they? Who have we got? Alfred, Alfresco, and I can't remember the third one. We gave them all little owly names. Alphonse, that's right. Now for our mountains, I want to stamp these in just a really soft blue because I want them to look like snowy mountains. So ink up our Hilly Horizon. This stamp is so versatile. You can do grassy hillsides, but you can do sandy beaches and the sandy bottom of the sea. You can do snowy mountains, all sorts of things. Let's mask in there and stamp it again. And this time I'm not going to re-ink, which means it'll come out a bit softer. And then we might mask that one and do one more. Okay, so very soft into the background. Now we're just going to colour those with some of our inks. I'll stick to that soft blue with maybe a little bit of deeper blue. So let's start off with our brushes. So with the snowy mountains, we really want the tops of them to be quite light where the snow is and a little bit of shadow in behind them. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit. I'll just grab a smaller brush, I think. And we're just going to pick up, what did I just stamp with? It's a Boy. So pick up a bit of this colour. Lay the brush. Now I can either put the mask in or I can just lay the brush on its side and just wiggle in a little bit there. I think I will pop the mask in for the next bit though, because that's going to get a little bit complicated there. A little bit of ink. And then we also want to go across this one here. And then a little bit across the bottom of our card. So just creating those snowy hills. Now we want to give ourselves some night sky. So we're going to have our moon up in the corner there. Find the lid for this one. And we're going to start off. I'm going to try and leave a little bit of light colour towards the owls. And we're going to have to mask our hillsides as well when we get to there. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. And I'm just thinking, what colours am I using? Starting off with something borrowed. This is our light blue, but not as soft as what we've used on the snowy hills. So starting on the side of the card, let's pop that mask in over that part of the hillside. That's there. Okay, and start working in around our mask there. Move our mask along to this bit, which is that bit of the mask, and shade in from there as well. So the underneath shading I'll bring right up to the owls, but I just wanted to leave a little beam of moonlight there. And just back holding our mask in place. Just going to have a look at how that's looking, whether that beam of light's working, because I haven't given myself a lot of sky area to work with. I think we'll just colour it a little bit more. Just lightly through there, but leave it softer than the rest. I now want to come in with the Aquatini, Aquatini, and then all that jazz. So we'll grab our aqua brush. Just to make it a bit different from our normal blue skies. Just adding that little bit of aqua, hint of aqua in there. Hint of aqua. I've got all that jazz sitting there. That's not a hint of aqua. That's lots of aqua when we get to that one. Let's come around the base of the owls a bit. Okay. Yeah, that's working pretty nice. All right. Let's swap to our all that jazz. Oh, actually, well, we've still got a bit of Aquatini on the brush. Let's just do, and some of the pale blue, let's just give our moon a little bit of something. Haze, clouds, yeah. Just make it, give it a, so it's not just bland. Mind you, the next card I'll do, I'll probably leave it all white and say, oh, I like bland. Yeah. Popping our mask in there, pick up with some all that jazz. So this is going to get a lot more dramatic in the aqua. So working in from the side of the card means that you've got less intensity of ink as you come in. So you're less likely, I've got a little bit of blobbing there that I don't quite like, but you're less likely to get that if you're working from the side of the card. Let's just do a little bit in the sky of that. So starting off on your scrap and then circle in. And fade it out by the time we get to that moon. Now I'm going to be adding some colour over the top of the owls, so I don't mind if we give little Alfred on the end there quite a bit of colour around him. Now let's come in with our Juniper mist, I think. I think we're probably running out of room to do blue suede shoes, so let's just go straight to Juniper. Nah, let's keep bright. I don't know what I'm talking about today, Matthew. I'm just making it up as I go along. Totally as I go along.
But it'll look pretty.
It will look pretty. We're probably now getting a mixture of suede shoes and juniper mist because I've probably got a fair bit of juniper on this poor brush. Let's come in and deepen this off right along that horizon of that snowy hill. So definitely on the mask, working up from it. I think with that much depth in the sky, we might add a little bit more depth in our snowy hills. So let's grab a small blue brush. Just adding that little bit more shadow in there. So where I'm going to go in here, where it's quite delicate, I'll tap a little bit of colour off my brush first and use fairly light pressure . Just be patient when you're doing something like this. If you rush it, you'll end up getting too much ink around and you'll lose your delicate effect. So just let yourself take your time. So when I'm going straight on from the ink pad to the card like that, I'm just almost no pressure, and then increase the pressure as I've got that ink moving a bit. That's better. That just gives it a little bit more something. Zing or something, yes. Now I might do a little bit deeper around the moon too. We'll leave the glow around the owls, but I'm thinking I actually want to darken around there. So let's get some of that suede shoes. Just check I've got my mask in place properly, that's better. I've got a bigger one that I use more often that I've got a bit of double-sided tape on the back of it. And I haven't done that with this one yet, and it does make a difference to help you hold on to it. There we go, that gives it a little bit more pizzazz there too. And now we can do some more blue suede shoes across the top there. Now I want to splatter this with water so that we get more of a look of snow happening in there, snow falling. But I don't want to, where we stamped the hillsides, that's all been done with the Catherine Pooler inks that are water reactive. So if I splash water on those, it's going to smear as well, and I really want it just in the sky. So I'm going to lay a couple of masks, what have I got here? A couple of masks in over those hillsides, just to protect them. I've got another one of the hillside handy. Yes, I have. There we go. This is a very used one, this one. Okay, so once I put those in place, now we can do some splattering on here without mucking that up. And I usually use a fan brush, but I'm going to do a straight brush and see if we can get sort of lines of snow falling. Do I know what I'm talking about? Vaguely. So I'll get my brush handle and I'm going to just go, see if we can get some sort of streaky snowfalls, like it's been wind blown a bit. Some right in that corner. Make sure we get plenty around that one. take our masks gently out of the way, grab a bit of paper towel and give that a blot, and that should lift that colour away and give us that snow falling type look. Is it enough? Do we need some more? Maybe I will pick up the fan brush and give it a little bit more. So let's just put a bit more water on my mat there. Grab the fan brush, tuck those masks back in. I don't want to muck up those hillsides at this point. Get our fan brush nice and wet. And let's just add a bit more up here, I think. If I'd thought ahead that I was going to be playing in water, I should have had a little bowl of water to dip this into, but yeah, now I've totally lost the windblown look. I'm just going for heaps of snowflakes now. That makes Matthew smile because I often have a plan when I start these. I don't always follow it as I go along. I start adventuring and it's okay. There, that's right. It just flows and happens. So now we're going to use our Uniqolour markers. So I've got the greys and a touch of brown if we need it in there. Well, let's try just grey and like a sepia. Let's have a look at this colour. It's pretty, no, that's a good grey. And that's a lighter one. Okay, so we're going to use these with our water brush. So I'll just give it a wipe and make sure I've cleaned other colours off. And I'm going to leave Alfred just in the blues at the moment and see how he looks. See if he actually needs anything else or if he's fine just like that. So I'm putting a fair bit of water on. I was just giving the brush a squeeze as I put the water on then. Just to get some flowage happening. Get some movement there with the inks. So I'm still picturing we've got moonlight hitting them on this side. So I want a shadow on the other side. Actually, I'm not thinking we're going to need the darker grey. I think this one's going to be enough. It's looking really effective. Put a bit more water on there. Get that pen moving. That's it. So I'll go into the pen and then drag it across, and that'll blend it out for me. Yep, I think that's enough. I think if we do more, we're actually going to take away from them. Except I want to give them some gorgeous blue eyes. So I've picked another one in a really nice blue. And this time I'm just going to do it straight. I'm not going to use the water brush at all. Can tell it's an Australian summer as we listen to a fly buzzing around the place. So I'm just trying not to colour in that little highlight of the eye because that'll just lift the eyes. If you need to work with the point of the brush, move your card around so you're colouring against your final line with the point of the brush. So you can turn your card as many times as you like to to make it easier for you to work. Oh, look at them. Going to do a bit of a hoot hoot. Now, before I start stamping in some foliage around the place, I'm going to stamp in our accent words. And I think I decided to say, let your dreams soar, because we've got owls. So let's just put the dreams onto an acrylic block. So these brush words have a big brush word and then little smaller ones that you can use with them. So I've got to leave room to put let your, and I've got to leave room for the S on the end of dreams. So just checking where I'm going to place it before I get it inked up. And then on a smaller block we can just get the S. So in this set the S is separate, that way you can use it as just dream, so you can say something like dream big, or you can put the S on and make it dreams. I always try and make my stamp sets as versatile as they can be so you can get the most out of them. If that means a little bit more awkward to have to stamp the S separate, but to make the stamp more versatile, I think it's worth it. There we go. Now we can start adding some foliage around. So for down below I've got our flower border, because they do look quite like little snowballs. So I'll stamp that around the dream. Excellent. And then we'll put some winter branch in here as well, which will look really good going across the moon. Oh, this is looking really pretty. I like the aqua as well as the blue in the sky. So let's have some of this coming in like here. Just going to make sure I've inked up as much of the branch as I need to. I was going to stamp just the edge of it, and I've decided to stamp a little bit more. And I'll stop and just take off those bits where I've hit the acrylic block in my enthusiasm, so I don't accidentally stamp those on. So I'm wanting to come down, but not go over the top of the owls, but come close. Okay. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's bring it forward to give you a look. So we could come in and add some highlights. We can add a little bit of snow across our branches with something like liquid pearls. We could add a little bit of glitter to the owls if we wanted to. Now I could do that with some actual glitter, or I could just come in with the shimmer pen and just give them, on the highlight side, mainly, just give them some shimmer. Just being careful not to touch the eyes because the pens will bleed if I add something wet over the top of them. See how I've actually got to carry that because it's reacting with the inks underneath, so I need to actually finish that off, or else I'll end up with lines. So I'm just going to pick it up and blend it back this way. That's because those Catherine Puller inks that we use in the background are water reactive, so it's reacting to the pen, which is fine. Just means as I picked up colour, I was going to leave lines if I didn't keep blending it. So let's just come in with our liquid pearls and add a little bit of snow. So this paper towel standing by in case I get any little tendrils and things that I don't want. So we don't want it to be a straight, even line. We want it to be a little bit blobby like snow. Well, we could actually do some along their branch too, couldn't we? Yeah. I was thinking, do I need to add the pearls in? It's pretty as it is. And now I'm going, oh yeah, it just looks really good with this extra bit added. Now, nozzle's getting a little bit bleary, so just give it a clean off. And because it's the pearls and it's got a shine to it, it's going to show up even over our white moon there. Just hurrying along because I'm sure we're getting near the end of our time for today. Here we go. Okay, we could also add some extra highlights down onto the dreams, would look lovely as well, either with the pearls or with a bit of glitter, but that is pretty stunning just as it is. Let's move those out of the way a bit, so there we go. Matthew can get a nice shot of that for us. So just a lovely snowy scene with our owls, building up those hills, and then bringing in our extra foliage just to give it more depth. Thank you very much for watching along today. Lovely to have you with us, and hopefully you'll join us again soon for some more crafting. Okay, bye.